I'm Christelle from Diabetes Strong, and in this video, I'll be going over some different strategies for dealing with skin reactions to continuous glucose monitor adhesive. And this should work for any CGM, so regardless whether or not you wear a Dexcom, a Libre, or a Medtronic sensor. How to deal with or even how to prevent skin irritation when wearing a CGM is something I get asked about quite frequently. So let's talk more about it. I wear a Dexcom G6, I've worn a Medtronic CGM in the past, and for my skin, I only get skin irritation if I pull off the sensor without using a glue remover. So I use this stuff. So this solves it for me. But there are some people who develop skin irritation, even blisters, while wearing their CGM. If you're experiencing a full-on allergic reaction to wearing a CGM or any adhesive, you should probably reach out to your doctor and have a discussion. But what I'm going to present to you are 3 different options for dealing with skin irritation that I've seen work for quite a few people around the diabetes community and that also have some level of scientific backing. If your CGM adhesive is irritating your skin, believe me, you're not the only one. So when I was doing my research, I came across this exact topic on the Dexcom website. So Dexcom is one of the largest manufacturers of CGMs. And let's just look at what it says. This is from the Q&A. And look at this. It says, how can I avoid irritated or sensitive skin caused by the Dexcom sensor adhesive? So it's clearly a question that gets asked a lot. And they do list some different options. So let's just look at the first ones. So you can see here, there are different options such as cleaning your skin, trimming hair, not using lotion or oil-containing moisturizer, and not inserting the sensor immediately after a shower or bath. So one option for dealing with skin irritation from CGM adhesive is to use a skin barrier. And that's something I know works for quite a few people, so that will be the first solution that we're going to discuss today. So on the Dexcom website, you can see they have a list of 7 different brands. I've only tried the Skin Tack wipes, and it's kind of like these little towelettes, comes in these little individual packets. The way to use a barrier is that, well, you take it out of the package, you apply it to the body. Let's say I'm applying it to my arm. Before you apply the sensor. So let me just show you. Take it out here. Okay, I'm not taking it. So because I use Dexcom, which has an oval pattern, right? Let me just show you its applicator here. See, this is where the tape would go. This one is used. That means that I have to mimic this pattern on my body. So I would apply it here in an oval pattern and let it dry before inserting the sensor. So that sounds easy enough, but I do find it's a little bit complicated because you're not supposed to apply the barrier where the needle goes in because you don't want the barrier on the needle or the sensor. So I find it to be a little complicated. So without drawing the pattern of the sensor on my skin first, how do I really know that I only got product underneath where the tape will go? But anyway, you might be more crafty than me, so it's definitely a solution. And the next solution that Dexcom also mentions on their website is to use an overlay tape or bandage between your CGM and your skin. So that way you create a physical barrier between your CGM's adhesive and your skin. So I guess what it comes down to is finding a band-aid or an overlay tape that you do not react to. So I'm thinking one way of testing out whether or not you have a reaction to the tape could be to cut out a small piece of it, place it somewhere on your body, and then just watch it for up to 10 to 14 days, depending on how long your sensor actually works. So it doesn't really make sense to me to just slap on an overlay tape or a band-aid underneath your sensor before you know whether or not you have a reaction to it. For example, Dexcom has listed one product that's called Tegaderm as an option for a barrier they can use between your CGM adhesive and your skin. So I've tried that product. That product does not work for my skin at all. So for me, if I were to use that between my CGM and my skin, it would probably make things worse. So for me, that would definitely not be a good solution. I really like the idea of using a hydrocolloid bandage underneath the CGM or fabric-based overlay tape such as Skin Grip. So I actually saw on MyBedX website that they have a hydrocolloid bandage, that's how you pronounce that, specifically for this purpose. So if you want to get that, use my code at checkout. If you type in Diabetes Strong, you get 15% discount. So a little tip. But as I said, I really like the skin grips. It's a fabric-based overlay tape that I use. So I use it over the sensor to keep the sensor in place. And I'm figuring since that works for me and it doesn't irritate my skin, this would also work really well as an underlying barrier between the skin. And I also have a code for them. And surprise, it's also diabetes strong. We're keeping it simple here. If you use the code diabetes strong and check out on the Skin Grip website, you get 10% discount. But let me just show you how it would work with the tape. So let's take one out. So what you want to do is you want to clean your skin like you always do before inserting your sensor. And you see here, this is the overlay tape. This is oval because I use Dexcom. This is a applicator. This is used, but you see it's oval. If you use Medtronic or Libre, you can get overlay tapes that are shaped for those sensors, okay? But the idea is, this is my Dexcom. Imagine that I haven't used it and the tape is still here. So this would be the adhesive that would be irritating the skin, okay? So you'd peel off the paper so that the tape would be exposed. You would then take your tape, okay? And you would, so the colored side is the side that's going to be away from the body. You would apply that directly to the sensor and it would now be sticking here like this. So you can see the needle and where the sensor is going to come out is not blocked by the tape because there's a hole in the tape. So this would now be stuck to the tape and you just take off the tape of the overlay tape, put it on the skin, apply the sensor as you always do. But this way, it would only be the overlay tape that would be in direct contact with your skin. The glue or the adhesive from the sensor would not. And the third and final solution that we'll be talking about today is to use a nasal spray such as Flonase or Clary spray underneath the sensor. So the first time I saw someone do this online, I kind of thought it was a joke, but there's actually some evidence to this backing it up. So it's not a scientific study as such. It is a real life observational case. I'll link to it up here, but it does indicate that this actually works. So the way to do this, and remember, I haven't tried this, but this is according to the case, is that you want to take out your nasal spray, so your Flonase or your Clary spray, and you want to do 2 puffs on the skin. So let's say that I want to place it here. Let's say this is where I want my sensor. I'll do 2 puffs with the nasal spray, okay? So 1, 2, leave it on the skin. Don't wipe it off. Leave it to dry. And then once it's dry, you can take out your sensor, put it on the skin, boop, insert it as you usually do. And those were 3, some somewhat science-based and all recommended by Dexcom, options for reducing skin irritation when you use a CGM. So let me know down in the comments if you've tried any of these methods, if they worked for you, or if you've done something completely different that worked. I know I would love to know, and I'm sure the other viewers would as well. And that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a like below. And if you want to see more content from me, remember to subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications. That is that little bell. That way you'll be informed whenever I post new content. Thank you so much for watching.